Welcome to the Success Journey Show. Let's travel together through the lives of individuals on the road to success.
Hey, what is going on, travelers? It is Ricky Ventures and Marlon Madden, and we are back with you for another episode of the Success Journey Show. What is good, Marlon? How you doing today, man?
Hey, excited, like I said, man. It's just the fifth season. It's the fifth season,
we're in the fifth season.
If everybody listened from last episode when we said we took time off, it's not time off. We put our hair down, or what I don't have of it. We actually
that would
do
have been a task for you, man.
Yeah. It'd be a task.
You can do your beard. You can do your hair, beard hair.
Oh yeah, you see, that's why I let my mustache down. So we're working behind the scenes to make sure that we're doers and not just talkers, as you're gonna hear in this this interview that we have coming up.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. So I know, man, you're I know we did a little introduction as what we were catching up on over the last few weeks. But what's been going on this week for you, man? What's been standing out for you, and what have you been working on, man?
So I'll tell you, it's funny when you have your own dreams and aspirations, or you just try to do something different, just like we're going to hear in this episode about your fear, stepping out in fear. There's this congressional fellowship program. It's where you go work with a senator on the Hill. They take you out of the Marine Corps and put you there as a liaison. I've been putting a package together to apply for this position. Of course, it's a selection process. It's not just you apply for it and you get it. It's a selection process, interview, and then from there, you go and work on the Hill for a year, and then you come back to the Pentagon and work in any capacity that the Marine Corps wants you to work in as a liaison between you and the legislative portion of the government. So that's what I've been doing this week, and really working on that, and just putting that package together. It's really, at first, the fear that's there of, oh, am I good enough? Am I good enough? Then you start to put your package together, and you see you have what it takes, and then you're saying, man, you have what it takes. Hopefully that there's going to be a lot of other awesome people there too. So you just have to make sure that you stand out from the crowd.
Yeah. No, I love it. Yeah, like Marlon said, man, it's really trying to show that we're getting stuff done. On my end, I'm just checking off my to-do list, man. That's it, No, I got a lot of stuff too, man. You guys will be able to see. We're gonna have my partner for the Hit Doctor come on and be a guest in the next few weeks. Talk about some of the progress we have done on there, and book is coming out pretty shortly. We actually got the final copy not too long ago, and it's just exciting just to see all the work that you put in, just in your hand, the material aspect of a thought coming to life. So guys, we're on this journey with you, and we're traveling with you, and we just want to let you know that we're trying to put you in the best gear to travel. Right, so you need to hit us up for a T-shirt, so you can always keep that message in your mind: the dream, drive, discipline, diligence. You need to grab your book bag. The book bags are phenomenal, man. Everyone that has gotten the book bag is raving about it. We want to thank you for the book bags that you've purchased and to support us. We have the men's shirts, women's shirts. And we got more stuff coming too. And these are, we're not turning into a product company. We're turning into what can we do to help support you more, to help you on your journey and get there. And what other better way than to wear that product, man? Wear that mission, wear that vision, wear that statement wherever you go, so that other people can see that you're traveling as well. So listen, we're going to jump right into the episode guest today, and Marlon's going to actually introduce him for us. So before he does that, just remember, go to successjourneyshow.com, check out all of our previous episodes, our product as well, all of our previous guests, and then just share it with somebody today. All right? Appreciate you.
We're on TikTok.
Oh, shoot.
We're on TikTok. Hey,
they ain't gonna see me doing no dancing on there, though, man. I ain't gonna be doing that. That's not. He's like, what?
Hey, I might put that on TikTok right there.
Nah, man. So guys check us out. But I'm gonna turn it over to Marlon, man. We introduce our guest, and we will jump right into it. All right.
Hey, travelers, we're doing this things a little bit different this season, and I'm getting a little bit more lamplight. You know, Ricky gave me the honor of introducing our guests now. I feel important, man. No, I asked and I begged, I jumped, I stomped. I said, Rick, we both know this gentleman, but Rick and I said, Rick, if we have to get in the ring, put on some gloves and box it out and say who's gonna introduce this guy, let's do it. And Rick saw me and he said, I don't want no parts of that.
Yeah, I know he's certified. I know he's certified, man. I'm not a fool. You know, he's protecting our country. So I didn't want to get in the ring and embarrass him, because embarrassing him would embarrass the whole country of military personnel. So I said,
don't embarrass America.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a little small introduction, because I don't, the juice is gonna be in the story. So 2005, I was at a church in North Carolina. I'm in the military, I'm in Greenville, and we had our beloved Pastor Green. Now, Pastor Green is a beloved man, and everybody loves this man, and they say, hey, he's leaving and we're getting a new pastor. And I'm like, man, and this brother walks up and he's gonna preach, right? And they're like, your mic is kind of low. He says, when I start preaching, you'll hear me. And hey, ever since then, I've been hooked. I've been always in the, you know, it's funny enough, we're not calling each other every day, but because of social media, we get to tap in and see how somebody's life is going. And I just want to introduce none other than Gamal Alexander. How you doing? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me. It's good to reconnect. Happy to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, what we do with our show here, we just want you to introduce yourself.
Okay.
Go ahead and introduce yourself to our travelers. We call them travelers because we believe that everybody's on a journey, and while we're on a journey, we're travelers. So that's what we call them.
All right. Well, hello, travelers. My name is Gamal Alexander, and I am a traveler in transition. Let's put it that way. I am currently a full-time minister. I wear many hats, and that's a part of the transition process. I am a minister who also serves part-time as a hospice chaplain, who also has a marketing consulting business. I'm a solopreneur, and Easy Consulting is the name, where I do branding, I do copywriting, I create frameworks for online businesses, and my newest venture, which is mindset coaching, um, under the banner Fumble Forward, which which uses my experiences transitioning from my job as a full-time minister to a full-time entrepreneur. And I endeavor to use that experience and the skill set I've gained in order to help others follow their dreams and do the things they've always wanted to do. So I stay busy. On top of all of that, I'm a father of two girls, Faith and Grace, and they're both on the other side of this camera, as a matter of fact. I get the pleasure of working from home, and when I have them, watching them grow, which was one of the many reasons why I felt the call to pursue this particular dream. I wanted a particular life, and we'll get into it more, but I believe that life is too short to miss out on doing what you believe you're put here to do. And I believe I am put here to help others do what they feel they've been put here to do. I'm put here to ask the crucial question: why aren't you doing it, and how can I help you jump? And so, your travelers, hopefully, uh, uh, I'll be able to encourage them to move in that direction. So
Nah,
happy to be here.
Yes, sir.
nah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead,
love
Ray.
it, love it, love it, love it, man. Fumble forward, fumble
Humble
forward.
forward.
Give us a snapshot, if you can, of just uh, how you chose to go down the pastoral route. Like, what was that thing inside of you to say, "Hey, man, I think I want to accept the calling to be a shepherd," and then we'll go from there. How everything else is evolving,
Awesome.
to go from there. Yep.
So I'm one of those that always knew that I wanted to minister. I
Mm,
remember when I was about, I'd say, 8 years old, walking into the Fellowship Hall of a church in Brooklyn, New York, and I saw the pastor and the pastor, the elders, the guest of honor for the day, seated at the table at the front of the hall. They bought the biggest piece of cheesecake I'd ever seen and put it in front of the pastor. And of course, I love cheesecake. And so that
yes, sir.
immediately catches my attention. Uh, I'm trying to figure out now how I can get my hands on a piece of cheesecake that big or bigger. And it occurs to me that in order to do that, you got to be a pastor. And so
Oh.
and so I was hooked. I was hooked from that day forward. And God turned my love of cheesecake into a calling.
Mm,
And I felt throughout the years the genuine call of ministry, and I experienced God's finger pointing me in the direction of ministry. And so I followed the calling.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I I did not know that the call could express itself in many different ways and over a lifetime can take many different forms.
Mm.
You are gifted as an athlete and you may be called to competition, but you can be a player, you can be a coach, you can
Yep.
be an owner, you can be
Trainer.
a trainer.
yeah.
You
Hmm.
can that gift can manifest itself over a lifetime
Yeah.
in many different ways. I had no idea, and so I followed the traditional route of responding to the call to ministry, which was becoming a pastor.
Mm,
Mm.
And for a season, that was the role in which I believe I was called to play. But just like no player can play ball forever, eventually he or she's got to transition. I felt that the Lord was calling me into a season of transition where I wouldn't lose the title of minister, but I'd
Yeah.
be ministering in different ways. And
mm.
so, after about 20 years of full time church ministry
20
as
years,
a
man.
senior pastor, 20 years,
Wow.
I decided it was time to jump into something else.
Mm. 20 years, dude. Well,
20 years.
as you're saying 20 years, I'm like literally
That's a long time.
going, yeah, yeah. I'm going back. I'm like, man, it was 20 years ago. I remember when you were at a church in Maryland here,
That's
Miracle
right.
City,
Miracle City.
Miracle
That's right.
Temple
Hmm.
before Miracle City. And I remember you, and I was like, man, that's 20 years ago, man.
Oh, it's been a while. It's been a while
Oh
because
man.
before that I was in Greenville and Kinston, and
Hmm.
before that I started in Gainesville and Toccoa, Georgia,
Mm,
2001, and so this
wow.
January was the 20th anniversary of
Wow.
my
Wow.
of my beginning pastoral ministry. 20 years
Wow.
this past January.
Man,
Wow.
congrats, congrats. That's crazy. 20 years. Because, I'm just thinking like just how did it go fast or slow for you? Because I'll tell you why. I'm in the Marine Corps 19 years
Right.
and it seems fast.
Oh, it seems fast. You look
Yes,
around and you wonder where the time has gone. I
correct.
was just holding my oldest daughter with one hand and walking around
Hmm.
um, warming bottles.
Yep.
And and changing diapers. And now she's got the car keys.
Mm.
And now she's wearing heels and
Oh
she's
my
looking
goodness.
me in the eye and
Oh
she's
boy.
talking about what college she wants to go to. So 20 years, it
Years, man.
seems like a long time. To my children, I seem prehistoric. And sometimes I have to explain to them that the 1980s really wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Because to them, that was another lifetime.
Yeah.
Wow, the 1980s. So yeah,
Yeah.
I was born in the 70s and
Wow.
I grew up in the 80s, but
Okay.
Oh,
it it seems like the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
man.
Can you give us kind of like a, because the travelers, they probably want to know like what kind of household did you come from, in terms of background of your parents, and what were they interjecting in your mind while you were going through your journey to come to being your own gentleman, your own man.
So I was blessed. I believe I was blessed. Didn't know how blessed I was to have a front row seat to certain experiences, but in hindsight, I was blessed. I grew up to immigrant parents. My father is Trinidadian. My mother was Jamaican. She
That's
passed
a crazy.
about
That's a
3 years
crazy
ago,
mix too.
and that
That's a
is a
crazy mix.
crazy
That's a crazy mix.
Yes,
That's
that is
live
oil in the
right there.
water.
That's live.
That is oil in the water. That is one continuous fight. But it's also
Your dad make better roti though. I gotta tell your
oh,
mom.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
She got to put her hands up and tell her that. Your
So
dad
listen,
he's from Trinidad, man. Come on.
I have a personal rule. I have a
Okay.
personal rule. I will not eat roti from a Jamaican, and I'm not going to eat ackee and sawfish from a Trinidadian.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because I know what both are supposed to taste like, and I know where both come from. I'm not. You can't get one over on me. So I go to these Jamaican restaurants, and they've got the jerk chicken, and they've got ackee and sawfish, and then near the bottom of the menu, they've got roti.
No,
I'm not eating that.
Nah.
I'm not eating it. You can give me a beef patty with cocoa bread, right? I'll eat that. But
Yes,
I'm not
sir.
eating if you don't have doubles and
Yes, sir.
on your menu, then I don't want your roti.
It ain't official.
I don't want your roti. If you don't have doubles and pulari on your menu, I do not want your roti.
You know it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I was blessed with a front row seat to their struggle because they came to this country undocumented. They came to this country with nothing. My parents didn't even have college degrees when they came to this country. My father had the most formal education, having gone to teachers college in Trinidad.
Okay. Yeah.
Teachers college is the equivalent of a trade school here.
Yep.
Right? That is a 2-year degree focused on teaching, but that wasn't recognized in the States. And so when they made the decision to come to the States and make a new life for themselves, they jumped. That was a faith walk that was not perfect. And I got a front row seat to view that. And it taught me that no path to success is perfect. No path to success is linear. If you're going to start a business, which I watched them start businesses, you're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to have your failures and successes, your highs and lows. If you're not going to always have everything figured out. They came without knowing whether or not they'd ever be legally documented. I remember when the first President Bush, I remember when he held the lottery.
Yes.
And I remember when my mother got her green card.
Oh my
I remember the tears because they had no idea how things would work out.
Yeah.
But sometimes in order to walk on water, to obey the command and the call of Christ, you step out of the boat, not quite sure what the waves are going to feel like. You're not quite sure whether your feet are going to hold. You're not quite sure what this trip is going to pan out to be, but all you know is that he called you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All you know is that he gave you permission to step out of the boat. And so long as he called you, so long as he gave you the permission, you walk. You put one foot in front of the other and you keep walking. And you know what? Sometimes you sink. But when you sink, if he's nearby and he called you in the first place, he won't let you drown. And I saw my parents sink, but I never saw my parents drown.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And so that is where Fumble Forward, the seeds were planted.
Wow. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So, man, so you got that background. You have that seed planted in you. So now you did 20 years, and I don't want to take that lightly. 20 years in one profession for anybody, especially nowadays. Not many people are staying that long
time
in any profession, right? But to stay in a pastoral role where you got, I hope everyone understands what that is. And for our travelers that don't, you're in a constant position of giving, of serving.
Absolutely.
You know, for 20 years, right? Your phone rings nonstop, morning, noon, and night, every single day of the week, and you're just going from one thing to the next, serving people as a representation of God and trying to provide that spiritual guidance for individuals, man. So 20 years of that, and now saying, man, you know, I think there's something else. You know, I think God is calling me to get out the boat again and to walk. And to what that is becoming clearer as I'm stepping out, but not 100% sure exactly what the waves, like you said, the waves are going to look like.
Absolutely.
Right? So talk about how you started during that. At what point during that 20 years did you start saying, there's something else, or start getting that taste for something else?
I was told once that a great litmus test for whether or not things need to change is for you to look around the room that you're in and look for those who are in the same room with you that are 10 years ahead of you. If you don't want to be where they are, then it's time for you to get into a different room. Right? So I gave myself the test. And I looked around the room I was in.
Don't tell us the room.
All my colleagues. And listen, this doesn't mean that the room was a bad room.
No. Just that.
What you wanted.
Because it's just that I knew that in 10 years, that wasn't the room I wanted to be in.
Correct.
Because I didn't want to look like the people who were 10 years ahead of me. That can go for any room.
Correct.
There are doctors looking around the operating room and realizing that 10 years from now, I will look like that doctor who's been here 10 years more than I, and I don't want to look like that doctor. There are lawyers looking around the courtroom.
Yes.
You know, there are trainers looking around the gym, and they may be saying to themselves, this person's got 10 years on me, but I don't aspire to be where they are in 10 years. So if where they are is not aspirational, then you need a different direction. Get into a different room. And so I had to begin a period of introspection that first of all helped me to acknowledge that this wasn't the room I wanted to stay in.
Mm.
Uh, then I had to begin the process of finding out what room I really wanted to be in.
Mm.
And the truth of the matter is that answer doesn't get dropped into your lap,
No,
Correct.
no.
right?
Correct.
You don't learn, you learn by doing.
Yeah.
Learning it is an evolutionary process.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to the creation of the world, I may not subscribe to the theory of evolution, but when it comes to the formation of ideas and discovery of purpose, I definitely subscribe to the theory of evolution because you learn as you go.
Correct.
Yes.
I figured out quickly that God was not going to email me my marching orders for the next phase of my
Mm.
life.
He didn't send it to you on Twitter?
He wasn't going to tweet it to me. He wasn't going to DM me. It was not coming via
Not gonna be on
Facebook
Instagram.
Messenger.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah. Mm-mm.
no. But as I started walking the Jordanwood Park,
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
as I started walking the Jordanwood Park, and so I had to begin my own process of fumbling forward.
Mm-hmm.
Discovering first of all what my passions were, what my gifts were. Well, for 20 years, I had been relying on the gift of teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How can I use that in other ways? I began coaching and I began where I was most comfortable. I started coaching speakers, started coaching preachers. I started uh, I started writing because speaking, writing, communication, okay, it's in the same wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, writing led me to coaching writers. Uh, but with you would think on the outside that he keeps jumping from thing to thing. But in fact, it's an evolution.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, as I go, I'm discovering
Yeah.
what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, what
Yeah.
I love, what I don't necessarily love. I spent some time as a hospice chaplain. I realized, well, that's good money, but no, that's not my passion. Okay. I'm coaching writers. And I realized, well, I'm passionate about writing, but it's hard for me to get other people to finish their projects. So maybe I don't want to do that. And then the people with whom I interact, my clients, the people with whom I interact, they begin to tell me what they want to see from me. They begin to tell me through their results how I've impacted them, what I'm good at. Now realize I'm
Mm.
transitioning and other people are asking me, how is it after 20 years you have the guts to get up and do something new?
Hmm.
Well, the light bulb goes off. I can share that with you. And I've noticed that the more people I share it with, I'm fulfilled as I share it, and people are being helped as I share it. So that's what led me to this. There's no guarantee that I will be doing this 10 years from now,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the guarantee is that I'll be following the call. I'll be following my dream. I'll be discovering my purpose 10 years from now. And
Yes.
whether it is continuing to develop this or whether I'm led in another direction, whether there's another stage to the evolution, what I do know is that I'm not going to stop.
Mm.
Mm.
Thank you for listening to the Success Journey Show. Please follow us on our social media on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at The Success Journey Show. Also, check out our website at thesuccessjourneyshow.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of the show.
Now, I'm going to backtrack just a little bit onto something
Absolutely.
because you did 20 years, and I remember you're very successful in Compton.
Mhm.
From the outside looking in, of course,
Praise God
can
for
tell
that.
me, yeah, you're very successful in Compton. And I was like, man, what did he do different? But then I heard you say something with my MBA. So now I'm talking to now let's talk about the preachers. Let's give a little tidbit to the especially the Adventist preachers. Do you think a lot of preachers should take that MBA? Because my thinking is a lot of them have, or I'll let you go first before
Sure.
I give my thinking, my thoughts.
So I wouldn't suggest the MBA as a prerequisite.
Yeah.
I would suggest the MBA if business is your passion.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Because it makes no sense to pile up debt and degrees if they're not contributing to your passion.
Okay.
Matter of fact, in the economy in which we live now, you can have a successful career without any degree.
Degree. Correct.
And my grandchildren will probably laugh at me when I introduce the concept of college and university and school. I say, Grandpa, you're old, because we watch YouTube and we learn everything we need to learn on YouTube, and we listen to Audible, and we listen to all the books on Audible, and then we set up a social media presence, and we start giving courses, and we make money.
Yeah.
So why would I need $50,000 worth of a degree so I could start in the mailroom in somebody's corporation when I can just go ahead and build my own? So with the economy that we're in today, I would focus, if I had to do it all over again, I would focus on my passion. And I believe that every pastor, yea, even every professional, ought to take a deep dive into themselves to discover what their passions are. One of the biggest mistakes that I believe we've made as clergy, and one of the mistakes that was made that was made on our behalf, was made dealing with us, is they put blinders.
Correct.
And so we were taught that if you didn't follow one track from Oakwood to Andrews into the field and stay in the field,
yeah,
you were somehow turning your hand from the plow.
Yeah.
That's complete nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Because a fulfilled leader is going to be able to lead more effectively.
Exactly.
A fulfilled leader can teach others how to live fulfilled.
Yeah.
But instead, we have people who have somehow managed to squelch their creativity and squash their dreams and pigeonhole themselves, box themselves in to one category, which is ministry. But you can do more than just read a Bible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You are gifted to do more than teach the Bible. And by the way, your gifts, if you expand them, can lead you to other people whom you can win for the kingdom of God.
That's biblical.
That's biblical. That's biblical. When we are given the command in the form of the Great Commission to go ye into all the world, notice that all the world doesn't begin and end with the Jewish world.
Yes.
Right? It may begin with where they are familiar. But Christ commands them to start where you are familiar, but then keep going, keep expanding. Go into Samaria, the folks who don't like you, and then to the uttermost parts of the world, places where you've never been before.
Yeah.
We need saved producers. We need saved engineers.
Yeah.
We need saved physicists. We need
Athletes.
saved athletes.
Yeah,
We need saved people in every walk of life to be
correct.
able to not only preach the gospel, but live the gospel. And we'll
Mhm.
never get that if we label people, box people, pigeonhole people, and box them
Man,
Mm.
yeah. I like the answer. I love the answer. We could go more in depth in that, but that will bring us to that, just pigeonhole us into
in. Man,
a
don't
Listen.
specific topic.
Yeah.
don't box yourself in. I don't like the boxes. And
Yeah.
we apply them to ourselves in so many different ways. I don't do that because that's what white folks do. I don't
Mm.
do that because that's what young
Mm,
folks do. I
yeah,
don't
Mhm.
do that
Mhm. Mhm.
because that's what foreigners do. That's what Americans do. That
Yeah.
try all the things, dive into
yes,
all the things, go to all the places, visit all the places, learn all the
Yeah.
languages, try
Right.
all the foods,
Foods. Yeah.
and divorce yourself from the labels. You
Yeah.
don't know what you don't like because you haven't tried it yet.
correct,
Mm.
You don't
correct.
know what you're passionate about because you hadn't even read about it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you're so busy sticking to your script.
correct.
Rip your script up, which is what I had to do coming full circle, because
That's what I
my
was
Yeah.
asking about.
script for 20 years was get up, get behind the pulpit, preach a Seventh-day Adventist doctrine, and then do it all over again. And there's
Mm,
absolutely nothing wrong with that because what was my script is somebody else's dream.
mm,
Mhm.
Right. So there's somebody else right now outside of the profession who is
That you need to make room for. Yep.
who's dreaming about coming into this profession.
and you're
Right.
gonna
And
make
Right.
room
so
for 'em.
God bless them.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah.
make room for them, right? We're
Yeah.
gonna make room for them.
Yeah.
But while they may need to tear up that script of being a lawyer and
Mhm.
explore a new script of full-time ministry, I'm now rewriting my script of full-time
Yeah.
ministry and going into full-time entrepreneurship.
How scary is that though? How
Yeah.
scary is that in terms of
Oh,
you
listen.
have that aha moment, right? So a lot of people have the aha moment,
Mhm.
and when you start thinking totally different, it's hard to
Man.
really explain to others, and it's even scary to you. What's that whole scenario like?
So the fear is my wheelhouse. That's the foundation upon which I built Fumble Forward.
Brilliant.
Just dealing with the fear. I know great strategists. I work with them. Kimon Hines, Ideas to Life. Love him. He's an amazing business coach. I don't deal with business coaching. There are those who deal with starting over. Philip Wesley, Dr. Phil 2 on Instagram. He deals with New Start. There's an amazing coach, the Clean Life coach. Monica Weidman, she deals with women specifically who have been divorced, who have been fired, who are looking for a new start in their lives. I don't deal with that. I deal with one thing and one thing only. You're scared to death, but how do you do it anyway? That's all
Mm.
I deal with. You're scared to death. How do you do it anyway? Why? Because I was scared to death. And I
Mm.
am scared to death. And I can relate to people who are scared to death. I had to start developing habits that got me comfortable with being uncomfortable. The first thing I had to do in my life was develop a different relationship with fear.
Mm,
Right? That's the first thing I had to do in my life. How did I do that? I started looking for stuff I was scared of and looking for stuff I had never done before and start intentionally doing it.
yes, sir.
And so I found a swim school because I didn't know how to swim. And I got into a class with 8-year-olds.
Come on
Ooh,
now. Come
Right.
on.
So I'm the tallest thing. I've got parents looking at me side eye because they say, "Well, what's this grown man doing around my kids?" And I'm looking at them, trying to reassure them that I'm just here to learn how to swim.
I don't want to drown. I'm not worried about your kid.
I'm 42. I understand I'm 42 and he's 12, but I got to do this. And so this grown man has this young adult swim instructor giving him a paddle board and making sure he holds on and kicks his feet as he goes across the pool. And I'm scared to death, but I had to develop a different relationship to fear. And so I look for a roller skating school. I am a roller skating school graduate.
There you go.
I promise I've got a certificate. I've got a certificate to prove it. Because once again, I'm in there with the kids, but it's something I'd never done before. And I had to develop a different relationship to fear. I took up CrossFit, and I'd heard all kinds of terrible reviews about CrossFit, and all kinds of rumors about CrossFit. And when I walked into the gym for the first time, they nearly killed me with CrossFit because I had never undergone that kind of conditioning before. But I started to learn something. I started to learn that most fear, legitimate though it may be, while legitimate, it's oversized and overemphasized in our fears. Not that our fears are illegitimate, it's that our fears are out of proportion.
Yep. Sometimes it's not even realistic.
Sometimes they're not realistic. Most of the time, they're out of proportion.
Yeah.
So fear is a useful tool.
Yeah.
It keeps us safe. It puts us into a state of readiness to meet impending danger. But it relies on an overestimation of the threat to our environment and an underestimation of our ability to handle it. And so I realized in every scenario, I was overestimating the threat. If I jump into the water, I will drown. If I get on the skates, I will fall. If I do the rock climbing, I'm gonna break my neck. If I walk into the CrossFit gym, they're gonna laugh at me.
Yeah.
There's this overestimation of the threat, and then there's an underestimation of my ability to handle it. So I'm gonna drown in 3-foot water because I can't stand up. Because I'm going to break every bone in my body because I'm going to fall 3 feet on skates. I'm gonna fall 3 feet to the ground. Everybody in the rock climbing gym has used the same harness.
Yeah,
right.
Somehow it's going to break for me.
Break on me. Yeah.
It's going to wait until I get on, and it's going to break for me. I'm not going to survive because nobody's ever survived a 10-foot fall. Right? And so when you sit down and you logically work through these fears, and there's a system to do that, you realize that you don't have to overestimate the threat. You don't have to underestimate your ability to handle the threat, but you can approach the threat in a responsible, logical manner, which will help you manage the fear. We don't want to eliminate the fear, but you want to manage the fear and make it less debilitating, less paralyzing, so you can move forward.
Or respect that fear. I tell people,
yes,
like a motorcycle, once you lose the fear for the motorcycle, that's when you die. You're
absolutely
dead.
Absolutely.
Because,
so that's why I don't talk about eliminating fear.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want anybody fearless. Right?
Yeah.
So
You recognize
I want you to fear a little bit less. Right?
Yes.
I just don't want the fear to paralyze you.
Correct.
Right? I used to have snakes as pets. I had a rat snake. They grew up to about 6 to 8 feet.
Yep, we have them around
And
here.
let me tell you something about snakes. They seem friendly. They will act cordial, but never forget that it's a snake.
Correct.
Because one day it's going to remind you it's a snake. No matter where you are, what you're doing, you always have to respect the nature of the
Yes.
beast.
Yeah.
Respect the nature of the snake. But you can't be paralyzed around the snake, or else you can't live with the snake.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. And so there's a balance between respecting the nature of the beast and being able to manage and coexist with the beast.
Right.
And for many of us, fear is that snake, fear is that beast. And you have to respect it, because
Yeah.
one day it will remind you that the danger is real. You'll find yourself in trouble being reckless. Right? You don't want to be
Yeah.
reckless.
Yep.
You'll find
Yep. Yep.
yourself in trouble being reckless.
Yeah.
But you have to get to the point where you can coexist with the beast. You can manage the beast so that you're not reckless. You're making progress.
Man, I love it. I love it. Travelers, man, I hope you're hearing this. Hope you're hearing this. Respect the fear, respect it, understand it, but don't let it paralyze you.
Don't let it paralyze you.
And that's where a lot of people are, in that paralyzed state. A lot of people would have got to that 20-year mark and said, you know what, I can't, man, this is what I am. I'm gonna have to ride this out. You know, I'm not gonna try to find something else. This is who I am. I can't be an entrepreneur now. You know, that's not my thing. You know, this is what I do right here. This is what I master.
So then why can I not be an entrepreneur? Because I might fail.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
What if I told you that failure was a part of the journey?
Come
Yes.
on.
Yes.
What if I told you that failure
Yes.
was expected? That
Yes.
failure
Failure's
was
a part of
okay,
success.
that
Yes.
failure is necessary to succeed.
We'll see.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, if you're expected to leap forward or fly forward, then the metric for success is whether you made the leap or whether you flew. And if you ever fall, then you fail.
Yeah.
But if you fumble forward, then you're stumbling, and your fumbling is a part of the development journey. You're supposed to fail. As a matter of fact, you ought to ask yourself. I came across something as I was reading just this week, where I was told you ought to ask yourself and ask your children, what did you fail at today? And every time they tell you nothing, challenge them.
Wow.
Challenge them. Because
Ooh.
if you didn't fail at anything today, it means you didn't try anything new today.
Wow.
Right? So when's the last time you walked out of there and said, man, I stunk? Because that's the measure of growth.
Yeah.
It's not I'm getting better and better and better and better and better and better and better. You can't get better ad infinitum.
Yeah.
At some point, you get to the next level and you're a beginner again.
Correct.
Correct. And then you get to the next level and you're a beginner again. So I can pastor a church.
Yeah.
But now entrepreneurship is another level and I'm a beginner again.
Yep. And being willing to go through that process again. Yep.
I expect to fail.
Yep.
Over and over and over again. And when I succeed at a small business, well, then I'll become a medium-sized business and I'm a beginner again.
Yes.
And then I'll become a large business and I'm a beginner again. And then if we branch off, or then we become a corporation, or that, and I'm a beginner again. And I do that until I do that until I give up the ghost, and then I give it to my children, and hopefully they become beginners again.
So let's talk. Wow. So you brought us in a nice transition. Rick, I don't want to steal everything, man. I know you probably have some questions. You're going to go somewhere.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So, you know, we look at a lot of people. I don't want to generalize something. Like how you said your parents they came here, they didn't have
no green card, no
degree,
documentation,
no nothing, right?
Nothing.
A lot of times I find out that if you look at a lot of our West Indian, no, I'm saying that because I'm West Indian. I'm not excluding anybody else.
Sure.
But a lot of our West Indians, the ones that start a business are those without the degrees.
Of
When
course.
they come over here, if they have a degree, they try to assimilate so hard that they fall in line with whatever. Hey, I was a teacher in Jamaica. I have that degree. They respect it over here. I'm just going to become a teacher. But when they come over here and they don't have a degree, they fight to open let me not say little, open the restaurants, open the site, the little stores that sell all the different things. And we notice that that's the person, and they grow and they grow. That legacy that you want to leave for your family, what are you trying to accomplish by now becoming that solopreneur, that entrepreneur, doing something different outside of your wheelhouse?
I've never seen any statistics on the percentage of West Indians opening businesses with degrees versus those without.
Yes.
I can't speak to that, but what I can say is this. I have seen statistics that prove that it is very difficult to build wealth working for someone else.
Come on.
Those statistics I've seen. That data I've seen.
Yes.
It's very difficult. I will not say impossible, because it is possible. Good money management, investing, it is possible, but it's very difficult to build wealth, generational wealth, by working for someone else. There is a ceiling on your income. Okay. And so even if you own property, you're going to have to strike out on your own in order to build wealth.
Yeah.
You are an employee because someone else decided to build wealth. And now they are hiring you to help them build their dream.
Their wealth. Yes.
If you are interested in legacy, leaving behind, then the only thing you're going to be able to leave behind is that which belongs to you. Which is, interestingly enough, the only thing that you can, the thing that is most apt to help you build wealth, that which belongs to you, your idea, your dream. You can't leave your job behind.
Come on.
You can't leave your salary behind.
Nope.
Yeah.
The most you can leave is a reference.
Yeah.
That's it. The most you can leave is a reference.
And hopefully it's a strong one.
But you can't, and hopefully it's a strong one. Hopefully they like you. And hopefully they like you enough to make room for your children. Right? But there's something about self-determination that says I can build my own and determine for myself who I leave it to.
Yeah.
And that, I believe, is legacy we should all strive for. Security is nothing to be sneezed at.
Yeah.
It matters.
Yes.
However, it can also be crippling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It can be deceptive.
Yep.
It can be deceptive. And so, what do I mean by deceptive? What do I mean by crippling? A pandemic just showed us that not every position in every industry is secure.
Come on.
You thought that you were secure, but unless you were essential or able to work from home, the pandemic showed you otherwise. Now watch this. That was just one incident that affected a certain amount of industries. We don't know when the next incident that affects different industries is going to come.
Yes, sir.
Because we assume that there are certain professions that are going to be that are going to be always be in demand. Just like we assume that there's certain businesses, entrepreneurs aren't exempt.
Yep.
We assume that there's certain businesses that are always going to be in demand.
Yep.
Don't let security inhibit your ability to pivot.
Mm.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying everybody has to quit their 9 to 5 and
Right.
run off and start a hot dog stand. That's not what I'm saying. But don't let the allure of security inhibit your ability to pivot.
Yeah.
I am, for all intents and purposes, secure.
Yeah.
No one's going to fire me from my church. It takes a lot in order.
We know what it takes in that Adventist church.
Right.
We know what it takes. We know what it
In
takes.
my context, it takes a lot to fire you from your church. We are somewhat protected. We're not congregationalists, so you can't vote us out.
Yeah.
Right? We don't. Our system doesn't work like that. So there's security there, but if I allow security to inhibit my ability to pivot, then when the direction of the call changes, when my passions change, when my interests change, when what I want to pursue changes, I won't be able to change directions.
Correct.
Because I'll be walking where there's security instead of where there is fulfillment. And so I encourage people to pursue the balance. And the reason most cannot pursue the balance is because in the absence of security, there's fear.
Yes.
What's going to happen to me? Well, what's going to happen to you is you're going to fumble.
Yes, sir. Forward.
But what can happen to you is you can fumble forward. You can keep making those mistakes until you're no longer a beginner, until you continue to grow.
Man, let me tell you something. It's always refreshing just to hear individuals, their mindsets around that transition. I think, what we've done in highlighting a lot of our guest travelers is really highlighting that transitional phase of life, what that looked like for a lot of our guests that have come on. But Gamal, one thing I want you to talk about before we let you go is, we talked about a little bit before we started recording, and you were talking about the phase that you're in now and just your fitness, right? And what you're pursuing. And not only what you're pursuing, but what the process looks like now and how the process feels like now in order to get there. Just elaborate on that with our travelers, because I want them to feel, when you're going through this transition, you start going to what that not only fear, but the other pain that may come along the way.
Absolutely.
As you're on the journey. Go ahead.
I am once again on another journey, decided that I was going to be a beginner again.
Yes, sir.
And so I am training for physique competition. I hope to compete in my first show in November. And as such, I had to go through a physical transformation. Right, one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life, by far. I had no idea the type of discipline and the type of sacrifice it would demand. And truth be told, if I had an idea, I probably would have done it. Let's just be honest. If I knew everything that this entailed, I'm good eating pizza. I'm fine. I don't need to be on stage. I don't need to have a six-pack. I'm good. Maybe that's why the Lord doesn't lay the journey out from beginning to end for the traveler. Because maybe if you knew every obstacle you'd have to overcome, maybe if you saw in detail every mountain you'd have to climb,
You
maybe
wouldn't
you
do it.
decide to sit on your hands and never take the journey in the first place.
Oh man, yeah, yeah.
So, because I didn't know, I decided that I I would just go, and you learn as you go.
Mm-hmm.
I hired a trainer because, of course, you have to align yourself with those who've been there before.
Mm-hmm.
And all of this comes and all of this I've made a part of my coaching, right? So, yeah, has anybody else on planet Earth ever done what you're thinking about doing? And if so, then you need to align yourself with them either vicariously, right, through books, through research, or personally, virtually linking up with them and gleaning as much as you can in a mentoring relationship as possible. But started, thankfully, I was able to link up with a trainer, and he quickly taught me that in order for me to succeed at this, I was going to have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mm.
I started going to the gym and getting mad. And
Mm-hmm.
I would get mad at the gym because I look around at everybody else doing 3 sets of 10. And this man has me doing 2 minutes of walking lunges,
Oh my
Mm.
goodness.
25-pound dumbbells. And you just set the clock and you just start lunging. And you say, well, how many? As
Mm-mm.
many as you can. You keep going until the 2-minute clock is done. And, and then when you're done with that, then we're going to squat. We're
Oh
going
my
to do
goodness.
sets of 25. And we're just going to keep burning it out. And I know it hurts. So you just go to your happy place and you keep doing it.
Mm.
And I realized that the game is not so much physical as it is mental,
Correct.
right? Because the body can do more than you give it credit for.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's just that you haven't pushed your body past that threshold in your mind that says, I'm comfortable.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
But once you push yourself past the threshold in your mind, which says, I'm comfortable, well, there's a whole other world that opens up to you. And I began to use that thing as a metaphor for life
Yeah.
because how many times have I been afraid to set sail because I believe my world was flat.
Mm.
Mm.
And I believe that if I kept going another 100 feet, I'd fall off the
Fall
edge.
off. Yeah.
Only to realize that when I go another 101 feet, there's another 100 miles I can go because it's not flat after all.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And so to date, I've I've lost over 30 pounds.
Mm.
I've got another 15 to 20 to lose. I am I'm in the best shape that I've been in my life, but the catch is because I'm on a journey, I'm
Yeah.
realizing I have so much further to go.
Mm.
Right.
Mm.
So it's not you get down to 30 pounds and you say, okay, I'm in shape, I'm done.
Yeah.
No. You're trying to get in shape for the show.
Yeah.
So you realize, well, nah, I have a lot. I got to get down to about 12% body fat, 10% body fat.
Mm.
Mm.
Then when I'm done with that, then I've got some different muscles I need to build. Got to widen the lats. Got to bulk up the shoulders. These legs need to grow a little bit more.
That's the
And
hard part for the black man.
right. That's a hard part on a black man. It really
I don't
is.
know why. Yeah. Very hard.
Our legs are difficult to simulate.
Yeah.
Even when I get on the stage, you look around,
Yeah.
and if you
Ooh.
don't place first, guess what? you got more work to do.
Yeah,
And even if you place first,
And even if you place first, you got more meets, right?
Yeah.
And you're still an amateur, so you can go to pro, right? And then you can continue to grow and grow and grow. It's a sport where you can continue to chisel and fashion your form for a lifetime.
Yeah, they said at 35 years old, where 35, 40, where your skin starts to reach the point where all your muscles are actually being shown the way it's supposed to be.
Right. So you hear about some of the more famous bodybuilders, the Kai Greens, the Phil Heaths, the big Ramies of the world. You talk about, you hear them having developed muscle, right? Mature muscle.
Yeah.
That's what they mean. The youngins coming in don't win Mr. Olympia.
Nope.
Right? You got to hang in there for a while and let that muscle mature.
Correct.
Until you get enough definition to where you can really start placing. And so coming full circle, I got a lesson in the journey. And I got a lesson in not allowing fear to prohibit me from taking the next step. And it just helped me to rededicate myself to helping others not allow fear to prevent them from taking the next step.
Well, before we let you go, Rick, I want to ask one question, because this is what a lot of people that are going through that transition, they don't talk about, or they find it hard to talk about. You have two daughters on the other side of that camera.
That's right.
And you're saying, and one just said to you, well, I got a car keys now. I'm almost ready to graduate.
I need insurance. I need gas. I need
all
repairs. I need all that.
Not only that, she's thinking about college.
Absolutely.
Now, how do you navigate to say, what I'm learning right now, and I understand it's their journey, what do you impart into your kids when it comes to what you've learned over the 20 years, and now that you had your moment where you're like, this is a different aspect I'm looking at. How do you bring that into your child? What do you do when they're saying that all the different emotions that's going through you? How do you deal with that?
Kids, especially nowadays, they could really care less about what you say. They want to see what you do.
Yes, sir.
They want you to lead by example. And if you think about it, they're well within their rights to ask for that, because they're surrounded by talking heads who spit jargon at them every day from every imaginable medium. On YouTube, people are talking. On Facebook, people are talking. On Instagram, people are talking. On TikTok, people are talking. On television, people are talking. People are always talking. But very few people are doing. And very few people are seeing it through. And the best thing I can do for my daughters is to responsibly do and see it through. So that means that I don't quit without a plan. But it also doesn't mean that I hang on forever and complain about how miserable I am. I have to responsibly do, and I have to see it through. I know that they have expenses, so it's going to require some sacrifice and some work. If I'm trying to sail away, I need to pull that boat as close to the dock as possible so that I can step off without getting wet.
Yes, sir.
But I can't stay tied to the dock forever, or else what's the purpose of the boat?
Correct.
Yeah.
So I've got to responsibly do, and then I got to see it through.
Yeah.
They need to be able to point to their father's plan, and then they need to be able to celebrate their father's progress. And if they can do both, then hopefully they will follow his example.
Yes, sir.
And his example lived out in their lives may mean getting a 9 to 5, so long as that is your passion. But I want them to know that if your passion ever changes, don't let fear stop you from changing with it.
Yes, sir.
I want you to know, I want them to know that if their passion takes them off the beaten path, don't let fear stop you from following it. I want them to know that if their passion doesn't seem practical, that they don't have to listen to the naysayers. They can put a responsible plan together and then relentlessly chase that impractical passion
Yes, sir.
because life is too short to live without it. Hopefully, they will never live lives where they feel trapped. They will never live lives where they feel unfulfilled. They will never live lives where they feel they've missed their opportunities. Hopefully, they will have heard me tell stories about being a hospice chaplain, where I've sat by the bedsides of those who are dying. And in the last 5 minutes of their lives, no one has ever expressed to me that they regret not working overtime at their jobs. No one has ever expressed to me that they regret the amount of paperwork they left on their desk. No one has expressed to me that they regret the security that they had, or they they have all to a person re- expressed regret over the opportunities they missed and the stuff they didn't try. They've all expressed regret over the dreams they didn't fulfill and the time that they allowed to pass making others happy while not being happy themselves. Hopefully my daughters will understand what those hospice patients taught me, that there are some things that money can't buy.
Yes, sir.
And you owe it to yourself to make sure that you get those things before you leave this earth. Do the stuff that really matters. Do the stuff. I don't care if I'm talking to Eve and Terry or if I'm talking to whoever's listening right now. But from the bedsides of those who are dead and gone, from the lips of someone who's making a transition just like you are after 20 years of a secure profession, from the mouth of someone who's dedicated himself to helping others make the leap. I implore you to do the stuff that really matters to you.
That's it. That's it, travelers. We're going to stop it right there. Gamal, you got to share with them before we let you go where they can find your information, whether it be website,
Sure.
number, contact you for your new businesses and all those different things that can work with you in consulting. Share that with them so that they can follow up with you after this.
I want you to do three things. First off is if you're on Instagram, follow me at Fumble Forward. FUMBLE number 4 WARD. Fumble Forward. I'm the only one there. My name will appear under the tag. And that's where I provide inspiration, motivation that's going to help you to hopefully take the leap. Secondly, if you're on Facebook, I want you to connect with me there. I'm building a community of people who believe in jumping, who believe in managing fear and not allowing it to paralyze you or rob you of the opportunity for your happiness. Thirdly, if you're interested in working with me, if you have been, if you've drawn up a business plan, but you have yet to enact it, if you have, if you found your dream job, or you've, or you found your dream career, but you have yet to pursue it. If you've decided that you want to take the next step and relocate, but for whatever reason you've decided that you're afraid to do it, if fear is stopping you from doing whatever it is you want to do, I want you to email me at fumbleforward, number 4, FUMBLE, number 4, WARD, fumbleforward@gmail.com. I want you to tell me your story because I like to help. Those are the 3 ways in which you can contact me. I love to hear from you.
Love it. And travelers, that's the end of our another episode. And like we promised every single week, we will see you next week at the same time, same place. Go check us out at successjourneyshow.com. See all of our past episodes. Catch up with us. Catch up with our guests. And like I said, man,
and you're also on all the other platforms where we're
everywhere. Oh, everywhere. Yeah, awesome. Everywhere. Awesome. We still have the standing what is it? Reward or whatever out there. Challenge out there that if you cannot find us on a platform, you get a free shirt. All right. So listen, if you find, go on your listening platform of choice. Leave.
And I'm about to go get one of those shirts too because I love it. Dream, drive, diligence. I'm making it my business. Come payday, I'm making it my business to get one of those shirts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you can get one too, travelers, at the successjourneyshow.com. Go to our shop. We have book bags that you see in the back there in Marlon's office. We have the t-shirts. We have some more things coming as well. The big thing, we have women's t-shirts. You know, women wear, and
yes,
like, man, where are the women's shirts at? Where are the women's shirts at? Show the men's. We got 2 styles for women. So don't even say anything. You know, we went all out for you guys.
Can't forget the sisters.
Yeah, exactly, right? So go there on our website. Support us, because as you support us, we're supporting our local communities and helping feed the homeless, as we always mention to you guys. But hey, this has been great. We'll see you guys next week at the same time, the same place on the Success Journey Show. All right, everyone, have a good one. Peace.
One love.
You've been listening to the Success Journey Show, where your dreams, drive, determination, and diligence are the foundation to success. For more information, check out thesuccessjourneyshow.com. The Journey Squad is here helping you to your destination.